Welcome to Charmed Life, a radio show discussing spirituality, magic, and the unconditional love of the universe. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm your host, Tricia Carr. Thank you for joining me today. I'm very excited about today's show. And before I do welcome my in-studio guest on to the broadcast with us, I want to just mention to you that we are broadcasting live from the Universal Broadcasting Network studios in Hollywood, California. And you can watch live every Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific on ubnradio.com. Just go to Channel 1. Or you can watch on any of my social media outlets. So on Facebook by looking for Tricia Carr. Actually, it's /Tricia Carr Charm for my business page, or you can actually join my Facebook group, and you can find that by going to facebook.com/groups/charmedlifelove, and you can also watch it on Periscope. So just look for @Tricia Carr Charm. Additionally, I want to say hello to the Lightworkers Lab, the online spiritual community of which I am a moderator. You can find the Lightworkers Lab for all kinds of fellowship and resources, education for your spiritual development and expression by searching the Lightworkers Lab in the Facebook group section. So just go find us. We're always doing amazing things in the lab. There's so much going on, so much fellowship, so much love and light. I would love to meet you there. And one more thing I want to tell you guys about is that it is the final day for the early bird pricing of my program, the 6-week coaching program for empowered empaths and highly sensitive intuitives. I have offered an early bird price for people who have been interested in working with me and want to do it in a very dynamic yet cost affordable way. So do go sign up or at least check it out and see if this aligns with you. And my website is triciacarcharm.com/empath. You can learn all about the program. It's for all types of sensitives. Even if you're a person who doesn't align with the word empath, that is totally fine because labels don't always help us. They only help us if they help us. They're tools. We aren't the tool of it, I have to say. But if you were wanting to turn that sensitive nature into a more powerful spiritual ability, which is what I believe the sensitivity is meant to be, whether you're a creative artist, a highly sensitive person, or someone who's highly empathic, then do please go check it out. I would love to have you in the program. It's educational and it's also group coaching. It's amazing. All right. With all of that having been said, I want to invite my exciting, beautiful, talented, dynamic, and so heart-centered guest into the studio. She is also on UBN Radio with her own show, and she is an intuitive medium, spiritual teacher, author, and radio host. Welcome, Colby Rebel.
Oh, hi, Tricia. Hi. Thank you for that warm welcome, too.
Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to have you here, and you're coming in studio. I love it. Isn't it great when we can actually work in studio together?
Oh, I love it. I think it really helps enhance and create the energy and experience.
Yeah. I think that everything that we've done with social media and connecting remotely is wonderful. I think we're actually reminding ourselves what we can do.
Yes.
Spiritually speaking. But, we still like bodies.
Oh, yeah.
There's just that extra layer.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Well, tell people about your show, first of all, because I know that they would love to, if they haven't already heard about your show, that they would love to catch it. Go subscribe, like, and share Colby's as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my show is right here in the same studio every Thursday night at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And some weeks I call it Date Night with Colby. And so it is just me taking callers and answering questions and tuning in. A lot of times I have amazing guests like yourself and, just the game changers, those out there who are looking to make that change and to help other people tune in and tap in to their own gifts.
Yeah, you have a really great episode where you had Lisa Williams on, who is a mentor of yours?
Yes. We call her Mama Bear, but yes, Lisa, I had studied with Lisa for many years, and now I'm one of her certified master teachers. And I really had the privilege of studying with some amazing teachers, as I'm sure you have as well. And each of them really does give us something or help us learn something new about our gifts that, we may not have otherwise experienced in the same time frame had they not come into our lives.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that different perspective, it shakes things up for us. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, Lisa really pushed me. I was, like many people out there, I was definitely playing it safe to some degree, without a doubt. And she just was like, what are you doing? Get out there. You are meant to do this. And
that's fantastic.
Very, very encouraging. Yes, I am forever grateful to her.
That's wonderful. And so what kind now, but you are a master teacher, so what kind of teaching are you doing? Tell the audience about that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I help people on many levels. I either help them build their own spiritual business, because I used to be a text manager.
Oh.
So I have a lot of business background. So I can help in that way, or I just help from any level, from beginner to advanced, taking their gifts kind of to what we always say, the next level, right? Diving in deeper, having a stronger connection, understanding the signs and symbols around them, all of that fun stuff, and kind of working at their level. That is one thing I really do enjoy. So whether it be beginner or advanced, I really do enjoy all the various levels.
That's fantastic. Can you tell people how they could find out about those classes before we get more deep into all of Colby?
Yes. Some are on my website. I have been redoing my website. So my professional Facebook page, Colby Rebel, it's the black studded jacket photo. I love that jacket, by the way.
Yeah.
But I always post a lot of my classes in the events section there, just to try to make it easy for people.
Great. Good. All right. Well, I would love for you to just share some more of your background. What's your journey been? What has your journey been like, and what kind of work are you doing? Whatever you want to share, just to get people into
thanks.
Colby.
Yeah, it's interesting when we always knew I had a kind of a gift, as if we want to call it that. And that started at the age of 4 when my grandfather came to me. And it was just a very clear, vivid memory. Even to this day, it's been very ingrained. And I was very fortunate, because I think a lot of children have experiences, but there's no adult there to validate it. And I just was fortunate enough that my grandfather came to the side of my bed, and then he said, "Get out of bed and go tell mommy what I said."
Oh, wow.
And so I did. And I went and I told my mom, and I remember her going, who said that? And I said, Grandpop. And she's like, where's Grandpop? And I was like, oh, he's right in the room, Mommy. And I remember kind of this tear coming down her face.
Aww.
And here, we didn't know till later. I have a sister, and my grandfather had died about a week before that. But we didn't know because we were young. I was 4. So there was a lot of experiences like that. A lot of my mom catching me talking to make-believe friends.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of those things that we hear, but in no way did I really ever fathom that, oh, you're supposed to do this with your life. Like, I just thought everybody did it. Yeah. And to some degree, I still believe we all can do it. Right. Absolutely. So...
Absolutely. I had imaginary friends as well, and they are my spirit guides now. As I reacquainted with them when I was older and kind of opened up metaphysically, or whatever you want to call it, and then I met my spirit guides, and then after starting to build a relationship with them now, they're like, "Remember this guy?"
Oh, wow.
That's me.
Oh, that is so cool. Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, all of them have kind of come back in that way that I reckon. And what's interesting, evidentially too. So one of them I called when I was a little kid. The name I had for her was Little Mama.
Okay.
Travis is laughing because he heard my Texas come out. So Little Mama was one of my imaginary friends. And, I would cry when my sisters would sit on where Little Mama was and all that kind of stuff. And then when I was older and I met a spirit guide, and she was diminutive, and, long story short, she gave me her name. And after a couple of months of knowing this guide's name, then I went and looked at my ancestry and learned that's the name of my great-grandmother.
Wow.
And Jarvis, you never heard this story? Okay, good. Then I'm not repeating myself on the show too much. And I didn't know my great-grandmother's name, my family didn't know that. And then after a while, I didn't say anything to my mom because, I don't know if it's going to weird her out, whatever her beliefs are.
Right.
And so I did, and she gave me her physical description when she was, on the earth. And I asked my mom finally, I said, "Did you know your grandmother?" And she's like, yeah, I did meet her. I did know her. I was quite young. I said, "Was she really short?" And she's like, "Oh, she was very short." And see, that's why I called her Little Mama.
Yeah.
Or that's what she told me to call
funny.
her Little Mama.
Oh, how cute is that?
So, like you said, that you really feel that everyone can do it. And probably certainly everyone is using their spiritual abilities to some degree or another.
Yes.
I think that's what any kind of creative arts or even in business when you're
teachers,
creative.
doctors, nurses. I mean, most professions, truly. If, truly, I think even accountants, to be honest.
Of course.
I think when you have that kind of feeling about a number being a little off or something's not right, I mean, that's the intuition right there.
And numbers are vibration.
So absolutely.
I like an intuitive accountant because, you know, get a little bit more tax money back.
I was real, you know, I always say, you know, again, I didn't think I was going to do this work, but I mean, obviously I didn't. So I was, you know, I had a side bookkeeping business, did tax returns, and like just kind of, I'm almost out of the audit zone, but none of my clients ever got an audit.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, like I guess I was working on some level.
Absolutely.
Anyway, because I do remember going, oh, that feels a little high. Are you sure?
Yeah.
And so again, it's so subtle sometimes. And I think that's the hard part where people don't understand when their gift is coming in. Because really, I think when we talk about stories, some of the stories are so amazing and big and bold, but really it's kind of subtle of how it comes in.
The still small voice.
Just the little stuff and like a push or a word or a picture. And I think it's just capturing that and knowing that and being able to understand what you're getting.
And saying yes to it.
Oh, and trusting.
Yes. Isn't that it?
Instead of saying, oh, it's my imagination. How many times do you do that? Oh, I must have imagined. Oh, that's my imagination. Just no.
Say yes. And then, you know, this is what I tell my students is it's all happening in the same place anyway. The imaginal mind, the tool, it's like, yes, you can remember, you can recall memories and that, but it's just, to me, it's like the wheel turning the other way.
Yep.
But it's the same mechanism.
Yes.
And so recalling memories or creating images is one way that the wheel turns. And then if you say yes to it, then it starts to turn the other way. Like with that story of my great grandmother guide.
Yes.
If I hadn't recorded her name and said, yes, that's her name. It's not like a, you know, fantastical Celtic sounding, you know, ancient name or something. It's just like a regular name.
Little Mama.
Little Mama, yeah. I said yes to Little Mama when I was little.
That's right. You got to say yes.
So I said, yeah, I mean, the name she gave me was Lelia, Layla, all these different names, which ended up being all of the names that were on her census records. Many different ways, because they always, you know, they were recording it by hand.
Yeah.
But I was calling her Lee, you know. That's not very mystical.
Yeah.
But I said yes to it, and it ended up being very evidential. And so it is about, this is where spirit meets us, you know. Mm-hmm. We don't have things forced upon us. Our will is absolutely free. So that's why we have to agree to it.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, imagine your grandfather or cousin or mother or someone, you know, they make all this effort to come out and give you a chill or, you know, give you a little brush. You know, they're using all that energy to come by and be like, hey, honey, hey. And you go, oh, must have been my imagination. And they're like, I just did all that work for nothing. Like, wait a minute.
I got to go recollect. Yeah.
I'm like, oh. Let me recharge.
Right. That's the other thing, too, is I tell clients who are practicing mediumship or, you know, even if it's not specifically mediumship, whatever kind of intuitive, I tell them it's a conversation. So, you know, you're connecting with, so you can say, give me something else, or what is that? Can you make that clearer? Can you give that a little more, can you enhance it more? So if it was a brush on the arm and you're like, was that the breeze or was that grandma? You know, you can just ask for a little more. It may take a little time.
Yeah. It's, you know, a lot of people, especially when they're doing the work, I always call it the intravenous drip. So mediums who are starting out and starting to do it, and they'll kind of have that connection, and then they have that pause, and they're like, well, they're not giving me anything. And I call it the intravenous drip. Like, you're waiting. And I said, it's a two-way street. It's a two-way conversation. Yeah. You know, just think of yourself at a coffee shop, you know, and engage with that spirit. Be curious about that spirit, and you're going to get so much more information. And just, you know, we call it information, but how lucky are you that you get to meet someone's personality or feel the love that they have for the sitter, or share a memory that you go, ooh, look at that. You know, it's a lot of fun to be a participant in that beautiful experience of spirit and the physical realm.
Yes. What would you suggest to someone who is listening today and is like, well, maybe my imaginary friends were really, and maybe it is an indication of abilities, or just I'm interested in it. By the way, I like to tell people too, just because you didn't have psychic phenomenon when you were a child does not mean you're not gifted. As we're saying.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
There's certain things I
or
believe,
you may have forgotten them too.
I believe we're all born. Definitely. I mean, we're all intuitive, and we're all born, I believe, with the ability to connect to the spirit world. It's just that as we get in society and as we get around people and people say to us, oh, it's just your imagination. Oh, that's just a bad dream. We start to not trust the connection. So it starts to kind of go away. And then something later in life, whether it's a trauma or an experience, a near-death experience, or just an awakening. Sometimes a really bad breakup can absolutely open it up because, you're that kind of shock to the system.
Yeah.
So absolutely, people can open it. And even if and the other thing I always say, this doesn't have to be your path of profession.
Right.
If it's a hobby, this is a wonderful, fun hobby.
It's a pretty good one.
I mean, you get to talk to dead people. You have all the imaginary friends you want. You're never really lonely, and you get to play with crystals. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Well, and that inner guidance, that's so important. That is what people, when they're searching for themselves, that disconnection, it satisfies that, being able to connect to perfect love and have that font just open to you.
Yes, and it is. It is hard sometimes though, because I have I call it the compass, and I have a really, really strong compass, strong Scooby sense, and something will happen, and I will just know, I'll take care of something and I'll just know what's going to happen 3 steps down. And then you try to dismiss it because you can't control everything. And darn it, if it doesn't happen and you're like, I knew that was going to happen.
That's being in alignment, just
always
it's being close, reading the energy, you're proximate to it. It's in the offing because you know what I mean? It's not that it's predestined, but when it's in the offing, it's in the offing, and you can already sense it. It
is what it is. But I always, like I said, I have a big smile on my face because it's, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love the relationship that I have with spirit, and I love that they're always pushing me to, always, how can you be stronger? How can you get better? How can you tune in? Because there's just no there, right? It's a continuous profession of development.
Yes, that's so true. I just recently I went to 2 kinds of plateaus happened to me. One was I was starting a new training program, and the first week, all of the students, I was collaborating with my friend Crystal in Compton, and the first week, all the students were like, oh my gosh, so much information. And I was a little bit jealous. I was I wish I were in a program where it seemed like so much information.
Yeah.
And I was like, uh-oh, did I just do a Nebuchadnezzar thing? I got a little bit mightier than God. So, okay, I don't need it to be too big. I don't want my mind too blown. So I was there for a second. And then, I felt my guide saying oh, well, no worries. We got plenty more for you.
Yeah.
And then after a little bit, because I was okay, I want to develop more, you know what I mean? I feel like I just plateaued. And then the next thing I felt the next benchmark was I know nothing. I know nothing at all.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of an exciting place to be. Well, there's a moment of skepticism and fear and all that kind of stuff.
And it's just this, and what I find too, just for anyone out there, when you feel a plateau in no matter what you're doing,
yes.
I mean, listen, you could feel like you're ready for the next level at the office job and it's not coming and you feel frustrated and I have this thing where I will just go for a hike.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's that combination of, not that it's full on meditation, but it's a moving meditation feeling, and you've got the nature and you're able to kind of let go of that mind chatter a bit. And there's just something about that just kind of helps nudge me through. Yes. So
connecting to the multidimensionality of Gaia, of Earth.
Yeah.
And especially when you want to manifest, because Gaia is manifestation.
Oh, yeah.
Gaia is abundance. So when you're able to move in that way and connect with the spirit of Gaia and her, it's not just grounding, it's also ascending.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So it's It's fun. I'll tell you. It's always it's a work, but a different kind of work.
Yes, absolutely. It's a labor of love.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Well,
So
I want to tell everyone, I haven't mentioned it yet, we are taking calls, 323-524-2599. I see we have a couple callers at least. But before we do, I just want to mention your amazing book. Would you please talk about Leap of Faith?
Yeah, this is, look, I brought a copy.
I know. That's great.
So what happened is when I was leaving the tax world, I knew I was leaving, and there was a wealth of knowledge that I had obtained over 14 years of experience and working with just thousands of really multi-million-dollar companies in all areas, because it was a public taxation firm, and I did tax returns like crazy. So I took all of that, and it hadn't been done before, but I took the tax stuff. What can you itemize? What can you deduct? How's the accounting work? What kind of entities are there? Not spirit entities, corporate legal entities. And
some of those can be a bit tricky.
Yeah,
just like
and
the
just
tricky
to
entities.
understand it. And so I wrote this book on, accepting your gift, or understanding the business basics, how to work on your social platform, social media, and a newsletter, or creating your logo, your website. What I wanted to do, and I really do feel like there's been a shift and a change, is bring a level of professionalism to this industry, because it really wasn't as well respected as, say, a lawyer or a doctor. And that really upset me, because I really feel like it can be.
Yes.
But it takes us as the light workers, as a community, to step up and do better photos, do better websites, have a better platform, and handle it in the same way that going to the doctor does. We commit to our appointments and show up. So the book really was that endeavor to kind of share that knowledge I had about the tax, but also help anyone who's out there find their way, because most people who are doing this, they are not accountants by profession.
Right. They're
creatives.
Creative, yes.
And so just to kind of say, all right, listen, you creative love bug being, here's some
structure too.
Here's some, because I think I always say to people, if we can build a strong foundation, you can build any empire on top of it.
Oh, yes. I'm really lucky with, I can get so airy-fairy and up in the conceptual realm, and then, all in the fields, all up in the big fields, and then I'll bring it to my husband, who's a bit more linear. I mean, he's a guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, but what does that look like? And he's asking me to make it something that is more, linear. And that's the manifestation process.
Yes.
It isn't non-spiritual to be structured at all. No.
No. And I think it's quite the opposite, because if you have the structure, then you actually have more freedom.
Yes.
And that gives you more ability to create whatever you want to create within that structure.
Oh, yes. And it also gives you motivation.
Yes.
Otherwise you are just up in the fields, and it feels like, it's when it feels amorphous, you just don't know how to move forward.
Yeah. And again, some people, because there's not a lot out there to show us, hey, this is where you can go. This is what you can do. This is how you do it. There does need that other side, that other element to say, okay, you can have a center, or you can travel and do this, or you can teach others, or you can be professional, or again, this could be a beautiful hobby of yours in any way you want to see it.
Well, thank you so much for writing that book. Again, it's called Leap of Faith, How to Build Your Spiritual Business.
Oh, it was
by Colby Rebel.
It was painful. I would.
You're like, look at this guy. How did it hurt me so much?
Because it was so technical.
Oh, sure.
I mean, a lot of books we write can be just fun, and again, it was fun, but because there was so much technical stuff and legal stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do that again.
I'm going to write a book about butterflies next time.
Yeah, but good thing you squeezed that one out of me, Spirit, because we're going to have some major negotiations next go around.
Well, thank you again. Well, how about let's take a call?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would love to.
Let's see. I don't hear anyone yet. And there you are. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hello.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, my name is Ann.
Anne. Hi, Anne. Is that with an E or just two N's?
Yeah, it's with the E.
Oh, right, great. How are you? What's on your mind today, Anne?
I don't know. I just tuned in. I don't really know what this is. I just tuned in and called in and just listening. So
Okay.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? What in your heart made you want to go ahead and call in? Can you feel into that? You wanted to...
I mean, I wanted to like kind of learn, and I don't know. I'm not sure if this what kind of line this is. Is it like a business line? Is it spiritual line?
Well, actually, it's both because Colby Rebel is a spiritual business expert. So, yes, this are yeah. Are you interested in developing your intuition?
Well, I do have the intuition right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. I'm not sure on how to hone into it on myself, but I can hone into it for others. But
well, Ian,
myself is hard.
Ann, I will tell you, honey, that's actually very, very normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's very common. So you being able to tune in to other people, do you also feel a bit psychic where you're getting those hits of information about someone, or something's going to happen and then it does?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is, you may not see your whole future, right? So using that ESP, using that psychic ability, it is a gift. It is not meant to self-serve. It is just meant to serve. So, but with yourself, you can work on the intuition. I call it the compass. And that is, kind of if you take your hand and you put it right above your belly button, the palm of your hand, that is your clairsentient, okay? And what I teach students to do is to think of a round dial with a line down the middle, right there, right where that palm is. And then you tilt it. One side will mean yes, the other side will mean no. And you just establish what side is your yes, and it will always be your yes side, and what side will be your no.
Wow.
And,
yeah, that's a great tool.
Yeah, and so what you can do, what you can do is start to establish so that when you have a question for yourself, should I take this job? Yes, no, yes, no. Like you can really start to develop your own intuition for you using the compass.
That's a wonderful tip, Colby, for everyone, for everyone listening. That gut feeling, you can actually give it some structure.
You can.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, you can. But then it just takes it out of, it really allows you to start trusting it. And have you thought about taking a class around you? I don't know what area you're in, but is there an opportunity to join like a circle or a group where you can play a little bit?
Yeah, I've been looking into that.
Good.
I'm actually trying to decide where to move, and I'm having a very hard time.
Okay.
Trying to decide where to move. So I've been, I just feel like my path has a certain destiny to it, and I'm very afraid on which move to make. If I move to a different state and attend school, is it going to take me off my path? I always worry about that thing, and that's been throwing me off lately.
Well, it is about trusting yourself. I do believe it's about trusting yourself. But if you would like for me to tune in, I do feel like you're moving, and I feel like it's in another state unless 712 is in the state of Texas. Have you thought about moving to Texas or somewhere like that, Am?
I've actually thought about moving to North Carolina.
North Carolina?
I have,
yeah.
I'm originally from New York.
Okay.
And I need to finish school. I have in-state tuition up in in the north, but I also gained it in North Carolina, and I've been trying to figure out if I should just stay home, go there, or go to school in North Carolina where I feel like I'm more happy.
Well,
but I don't want to.
North Carolina definitely is, it has so many spiritual areas in North Carolina,
Yes,
and
I've
that
heard of
nature and the trees. So, don't let the fear get in your way, Anne. Let me just tell you, spirit and your path and your gifts, they're not determined on what state you're living in. All right, they're going to follow you. Spirit's going to keep opening up that path as long as you're following your heart, following where you feel you should be. And if you feel happier in North Carolina, that really is your answer.
That's wonderful advice. I completely agree.
Wow,
And I think
thank you so much.
You're welcome. As soon as you just go ahead and release that fear, it doesn't even take any time. If you can just follow, all you have to do is not look at it and just look at the love and the excitement. That feeling of excitement and joy, that's actually you aligning with your higher self. That's what it feels like to align with the higher self, is that resonance of excitement. So you think about North Carolina and that feels good. Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much for calling today. It was really nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you, lovely people, too. Thank you for helping me. I didn't realize how much I didn't know.
Oh, you know exactly what you need to know in this moment, okay, Anne?
Okay.
All right. You have a beautiful day, honey.
Okay. Likewise. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. I like how you basically took that clairsentience and made it into a personal pendulum. That's so great.
It works so well. And so just to kind of help anybody who does want to practice it. So the way I tell people to establish what side is yes and no is I say, ask yourself one fact. What is one fact? My name is Colby, and it will tilt to one side or the other side. And then I'll ask another fact. I don't have to think about it. I know this is true, and it will tilt. You'll feel it. And when I do that, that will establish the side. And then I'll say an absolute lie, something I know, and you'll feel it. It will go the other way.
It's interesting as, for me, my clairsentience, I don't know, it's the texture of the energy. It's usually like it's a sick feeling or it's a happy feeling.
Yeah.
But as I try your technique right now, it actually does two things. I'm not going to say, as I don't want to suggest to someone else. So it'll either go left or right for a certain one, but it also sometimes goes forward or backward, but it's the same. Like for yes, it goes, for example, it goes to the right or it goes forward.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, maybe for someone else, it could go up or down.
Yeah, it does. I just try to keep it simple for them that they're like, otherwise they'll be like, well, if you give them too much,
sphere.
If you give them too much, like it could be a color or a word, it will overwhelm them. So I just say, hey, boom, 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 and it just lets them. Then they can develop how it feels. But I know that feeling of like, I know when something doesn't feel right. It kind of dips down. And I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Ooh.
Sickness.
Yeah, you're like,
almost.
don't do that.
Yeah. A little bit of almost like the edge of fear, just like apprehension. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is that fear, fear is so common and we really do give it a lot of power. And, one of the things that drives me crazy is when someone says, I'll just be fearless. And it's like, well, that's impossible.
Right.
That's really impossible.
Right.
But what you can be is courageous. So you can
curious
and work through the fear, and the fear in that area will start to diminish, and it will just go to another area as you grow. I mean, I think it's part of our experience of surrendering and trusting.
That's one. And do we have another call, Jarvis? All right, let's take another caller.
Okay.
And any moment now, we will hear that line open up. Hello, you're on the air. Who's this? Hi there. Who's this?
Hello.
Yeah, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Bernice.
Hi, Bernice. We're on with Colby. How are you today? What's on your mind?
Hi, I'm doing great. I'm calling.
Oh, our connection's a little weird.
Yeah.
Why don't we put Bernice on hold? And Bernice, hang on. We'll see if we can get back to you and see if the line is cleared up a little bit. But we do hope we can connect with you. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Actually, it sounds a little better. Let's try it again. Don't put her on hold yet, Jarvis. All right. Try it again, Bernice. That sounds much better.
Great. I think it was because I was on speaker and I was trying to listen to you guys on Facebook as well. So
okay.
That was probably a little too much connection.
Hi, Bernice.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Wonderful. What's on your mind today, Bernice?
Well, let's see. Lots of questions.
Okay.
We'll start off with, let's see, meditation. I kind of already believe I got a little breakthrough where I didn't know if I was meditating correctly. And just yesterday, I felt something that I would never felt while meditating, which was very, very, very exciting to me. I felt numb. I started feeling numb. I couldn't feel my nose. I felt very warm sensation, no fear, but it was just very strange. And yeah, it was very, actually very exciting. And there was this sound, kind of like a helicopter sound. It was very steady, not super loud, but I could hear it as I was coming out of meditation.
Interesting.
And yeah, so I mean, that was really, really, really exciting for me. Like I said, every time I meditate, I'm just kind of like guessing, like, yeah, I kind of did it right, or, you know, I kind of feel when I do hit that maybe 1 to 2 minutes of meditation out of the 30, I feel at peace. I feel energized. I feel clear. So I tell myself, you did something right. You know, you hit that spot.
Absolutely. Yes.
But,
Colby, do you have any?
Just yesterday, you know, it was just that one boom out of kind of body experience.
Yep. That's what I was going to actually tell you, is that helicopter sound is often associated, or sometimes people describe it as a train sound, that is associated when people are going to go out of the body and they're aligning more and identifying more with the astral body. And it's a beautiful thing. Now, I know that a lot of people, if you're listening, you've never experienced that. You're like, out of body experience, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, you're going crazy. But no, it's just identifying with the spirit side of yourself. So that's actually, when you say the helicopter sound, you were really deeply identifying to astral, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, Bernice, I would say I would really let go of this pressure you're putting on yourself of doing it right.
Yeah.
There's no right way to meditate. Let me just tell you, you can go out and plant a garden and be in the highest level of meditation. So if you just let go of it being right and just say, hey, I'm just going to enjoy this journey and surrender to it, I believe that you're going to see so many things open up, maybe more colors, more visions coming in, and that tingling maybe even more over. But when we try to perfect something, when we're so in our head, because automatically that's going to put you in your head. And then when you're in your head, it's like, it's so hard to get back up there. So it's like an anchor. So I would just let go of putting that pressure on yourself of feeling whether or not you're grading yourself. You know, try not to grade yourself on your meditation.
That's a very good point. I get that you're highly empathic, and that's actually really normal for very empathic people. You know, you are a young person, and you feel everything, so you just want to be a good girl. So you're always trying to follow instructions, and you know, just be the good girl. And so I think that's something you can look at. I also got that it would be really good. Are you already starting to work with oracle cards?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I have not yet.
Well, you have
I'm fairly new to all of this.
Oh, well, actually, oracle cards are really
to the lab and meditating and everything. I would say no more than 2 months.
Okay.
Wow, that's beautiful. Well, you have there is a feminine female guide that is showing herself. She's very, very bright. She says, you feel me, and you're shy to give her a name or to connect with her name. But she does want you to start playing around with oracle cards just for yourself, because you're going to then have more, you're going to have like this hard evidence of your intuition, because you're going to do it just for yourself, and it's going to show up for you. It's an excellent tool for a beginner. Don't you agree, Colby?
Oh, I think cards are a lot of fun, whether they're angel, oracle, whatever works for whatever someone resonates with. But yeah, cards are they're fun. Just don't make it a crutch.
Totally.
Yeah, but they're really fun to play with and enlighten. And you know, and Bernice, I'll just say really quick, you have a grandmother in spirit. Am I right? Because I keep hearing a grandmother for you, and I keep hearing she's got the gifts too. So do you know your grandmother, the one in spirit that also has gifts as well?
on the father's side, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is my grandmother from my dad's side.
Okay.
And I do believe the gift runs in both sides of my family. They're both very intuitive on both sides. Well, I feel that strong root from both sides of my family. But yes, my dad's grandmother, my dad's mom, my grandmother is passed. Yes.
Yeah, I just keep seeing I feel like it's some old school stuff like tea leaves.
That's cool.
She's like a tea leaf person.
And was there Catholicism in your background?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I got some of the Catholicism, and so with that is to release the dogma part of it, the limiting part of it, but you can embrace the mystical part of it. Catholicism is a very sensual kind of religion, very mystical in a lot of ways, and so you can just enhance the part that is in your lineage, that is that mystical and unbounded kind of experience. So I'm
feeling that actually that you mentioned that Catholicism. I'm starting to kind of drift, definitely not away from the religion, but pick and choose what feels good with me and resonates with me deep in my soul. And the rest that doesn't, I'm kind of just like dusting it, off. Kind of
perfect.
Like cleaning the religion, more or less, in respects to how I feel.
She's saging it. She's saging the religion.
Do that. Yeah, I like it. That's perfect. And you just found the secret of life. That's really what we want to do with everything. And keep what resonates.
And even with your connection with spirit, hold on to what resonates with you and release what doesn't.
Because it could always make sense later. You know what I mean? We don't have to try to make anything fit.
And even just, how I used to work, I change, we evolve, you develop, Bernice. So make sure, like we said to Ann, make sure you're taking classes, get into the development, build it, because, it will really start to unwrap itself quite quickly.
Yes. Well, congratulations on all of that amazing mystical stuff, all of that wonderful work that you're doing straight away. Your talent is wide open. Your heart is wide open. Only 2 months of beginning to practice. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Just go with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much for calling in, Bernice.
Thank
I just
you
love
so
your energy.
much.
I just love her energy.
Yeah. Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah, she's, you love it, but, sometimes in the beginning phases, and I remember it too, like, okay, am I breathing? Breathe. Oh my goodness. Like, am I sitting in the right position? Because my leg is kind of crossed. Is that okay? Am I all right? Like, we want to do it such justice and have that experience, but really it is just about being light with it and going with it and enjoying the dance with it. It's already there for us.
Absolutely. Well, you just think about it. If Spirit is the perfect parent, then all the perfect parent wants is for you to develop all of your beauty,
happy.
To be happy. Exactly. So, just be happy. Do the things that make me feel happy.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for us to do that?
It's like, think of it, right? Oh, as long as you're happy, that's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have time for maybe one more caller.
Okay.
There we are. Hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
This is Heather.
Hi, Heather. We're on with Colby. How are you? What's on your mind?
Good. It was interesting because the other people that you talked to, they actually brought up things that kind of resonated with me.
That's how Spirit works.
A major question what?
I said that's how Spirit works. Sorry, go ahead. There's overlap.
Yeah, sorry, there's a delay.
Yeah.
But one thing that was on my mind is, do you see any spirit guides around me?
I see a ton.
Because I have tried to kind of meditate.
Yeah. I see a ton.
Tap in with them, and oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, we all have spirit guides. Nobody is without their spirit team, their spirit family. But I see many close to you that are right there, and it's just you basically turning around and looking at them. What do you see, Colby?
I don't tune into I don't read people's spirit guides, but I will see a loved one by you that is a guide. So, because I look at spirit guides as two different. We can have our loved ones that have passed that will guide us, or we can have spirit guides from the Ascended Masters, the angel, all of that. But I'm tuning more into more the physical realm of someone who's passed over. And again, it makes me feel like this is a very strong mother figure for you, like a strong mother, grandmother for you. But this feels like it's on mom's side. So Heather, would mom's mom be in the spirit world? Would you understand that?
No, my grandmother on my mom's side is still here.
Do you understand the grandmother, or she could be the great-grandmother, but do you understand the woman who feels a little more structured? To say that word structure is coming up, but I feel like she feels structured and very habit-oriented, because I feel like she stands right by you, but it's to give you strength and opening up your gifts. So it feels like you've been working on your gifts as well, as same as Ann and Bernice, but I feel like this lady is there almost to kind of stand right by you, but it's a backbone for you. So she had to have been a little strong, this lady. That's what I keep getting, because she's very precise.
Yeah, you know what? That sounds like it could be my great-grandmother, who I don't remember much about.
Okay.
But I kind of get the impression that she was maybe kind of rigid, maybe not as like motherly as some other
but she's
great-grandmas may have been.
Really good there. You know, it's almost like she's sometimes we call them gatekeepers.
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know,
that my gatekeeper's like that, and she actually goes by Senora, and I don't have a relationship with her. She's like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my job, but we're not going to feel and love and chat.
Yeah. It's so a gatekeeper, Heather, a gatekeeper is used to kind of protect you, right? To make sure that kind of the love and light of spirit comes through, and not the negative side, right? And I feel like this lady stands right there, and she's like, well, you can talk to her, but only if you get through me first.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good, strong gatekeeper. And now I'm picking up, this is actually, I can't tell if this is a relative. The energy feels like uncle, but it could be a friend or a friend of the family. But it is something on the father's side. So it could have been an actual uncle, but it's someone who is, because the way I see it I see when they're next to you and just above, it's kind of like a family tree. And so that's what I see. But this person had some trouble. It seems like maybe with addiction or something of that kind. And it may not have been literally substance. It could have been behavioral. And it seems like there was a car accident that was pretty devastating. But this person or this spirit, I should say, is actually with you because he's going to be with you for a while. He's been actually in spirit for a good amount of time. And he wants to help you to move through some self-doubt, because that's what he had to overcome when he was on the spirit side, because he had kind of hard life and some things that he blamed himself for. So when he went through his healing, he released it, and he's working with that. And he's like, literally, I will take out the trash. Some of that self-doubt, you can look at it and say, it's time to throw this out. It's not that we ignore it and repress it, but we can look at it and say, help me with this and help me to understand the message behind it and what I'm growing through. That's another guide that I picked up on. I don't know if that helps you at all.
Okay.
But keep
interesting.
at it.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. Yeah.
And it may be a friend of the family. I'm not really sure, but it is someone attached to Dad's side. So, well, thank you so much for calling, Heather. Really nice to connect with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good day, and just trust obviously your guys at all levels are with you, so just trust that they're with you, and just start talking to them and look for the signs and symbols around. You know, set it up and then look for it in the physical, because you'll get them.
And say yes to it.
Okay.
All right.
Good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Well, we are just about out of time, so
I know, huh?
Some final thoughts you want to give to the audience, and if you want to tell everyone again how they can get in touch with you and the work that you're doing that they could engage in with you.
Thank you. Yeah, so if you want to reach out, my website's colbyrebel.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and that's at Psychic Rebel. And I look forward. I'm very social. I do coffee with Colby every morning at 10 a.m.
Every morning? That's wonderful.
Monday through Friday. And at 10 a.m. it's just a little inspirational talk. We just get together, have a cup of coffee, have a little chat, and then you get on with your day.
And where do you do it live?
I do it live on Facebook. Yeah, on my Facebook page. So just look for that black jacket. Look for Colby Rebel and like it and follow, and we'll all hang out. But thank you.
Of course. And all of you spiritual entrepreneurs, pick up Colby's book, Leap of Faith, How to Build Your Spiritual Business. I mean, I'm digging into this right away. Even if, I would say any level of your spiritual entrepreneurship, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, you're going to get some. I mean,
Oh my
trust
gosh,
me. I mean, unless you were an accountant and a marketing person, you're going to get something out of it.
I was not. Am not. What a great show. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, I really loved it. And thank you
me
for
too.
having me. I
Oh,
mean,
my
beautiful,
God.
beautiful and wonderful callers. I mean, really very, very genuine, heart-centered people. And it's beautiful that you're creating the energy and environment and helping others hone their gifts as well.
Thank you. And you as well. Don't forget about Colby's show on Thursdays at 5 p.m. You can call in, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can call in and you do readings a lot, right?
Yeah, we do it quite
amazing.
often, yes.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you again, Colby Rebel. It's such an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, Tricia.
And thank you for joining me today. Again, my website is triciacarcharm.com, and do check out my Empowered Empath Highly Sensitive Intuitive program that is in the registration process at this time. Please go to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Tricia Carr. Subscribe, like, share, comment. That joins your light, and that raises the vibration of the planet when we join together that way. Subscribe or review my podcast version of the show, which you can find by just searching Charmed Life with Tricia Carr on any of your podcast outlet that you use. It's on iTunes, it's on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and on all of those outlets, by the way, I actually have different kinds of special episodes, for the requisite ones. And I am starting a Patreon page. So if you would like to support the show and any of the work that I do, find me on Patreon just by searching Tricia Carr. Well, I will see you again next week if you want to join me live at 11 a.m. Pacific. And I thank you for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.